Welcome back to Grassroots Media, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Gary's Paint and Body Shop Terry Hoese Show, where we cover everything on the hardwood with the South Greene Rebels basketball team. As always, I'm joined here with head coach Terry Hoese. Coach, how's it been?
It's been all right. Had a little bit of a break here.
Quite a few weeks. I think it's been close to 3 weeks since we've sat down now. Christmas and New Year's was on a weird day this year, so I thought it was weird to try to schedule things around that. And then I knew, of course, people weren't going to watch with all the football going on, too. So we have to make sure people stay up to date with South Greene basketball because you got a lot of viewers out there. I know you might not agree with it, but you've got a lot of fans out there that watch your show.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely. But got the Big H Barbecue Christmas Bash. Got a few losses, or one loss to talk about, a few wins. Didn't bring home a trophy this year, but how was the barbecue first off?
No, it was
still fantastic.
It was on point, yeah.
Still fantastic. We got to talk about that first. If you ever go to that tournament, we say it every episode, you got to try it. It's some of the best in Northeast Tennessee.
It is, and they do a good job and want to be there, and it's a good experience.
I got to rib Dyer a little bit. Every time I seen him when he wasn't coaching, he was eating barbecue.
Absolutely.
Every time I saw him when he wasn't coaching, he was eating barbecue. He loved him nachos. He was messing them things up. They were good, but played Hancock County, Cott County, and Union County. Played a lot of county schools in that tournament. Came away with a win against Hancock County. Took a 6-point loss to Cott County, and then picked up a slim win over Union County in a very exciting, back-and-forth, thrilling game. So take us through those 3 games and what you learned in this year's tournament.
Well, Hancock County, we've got some kids hurt and out, but Hancock County was in a little altercation with Cherokee the night before, so they had one of their best players that didn't play too. So wasn't really a true South Greene versus Hancock County game. We were both down a little bit, but come out and the kids that I played in that game, I felt like played well, and I even stuck a freshman out there at one point. I had just moved him up because we're down some kids, and Alex Leon, and I told him before we ever went down there, I said, I'm going to give you a varsity uniform, and I'm going to be honest with you. I said, you may not see the floor, and you may be the first one in the game. So his eyeballs were a little bit big, but he come in. I think he wound up with either 4 or 6 that game. So had a lot of kids contribute, and honestly, I guess you go to say you get kids hurt and you get kids out. Other kids don't have a choice but to step up. Mm-hmm. So for that Hancock County game, I felt like they gave me what they needed to give me. Turned around the Cott County game, and it's kind of one of those deals where they're big and they're physical, and not having the Roderick kid and the Fillers kid showed up that night. Still felt like we competed and played hard. And I told the kids after the tournament was over, didn't come home with a trophy, but wasn't completely disappointed either. Felt like we got some decent things done. Finished up with Union County. Union County can play. They've got a kid, Eads kid. I think he wound up with 28 on me that night, and still found a way to win that one. So come out 2-1 out of that tournament with 2 starters out, and when it's all said and done, I felt like we had some success and learned a little bit. So felt like even though we didn't win the tournament, it was a good tournament for us.
I was there for the Union County game, so luckily the one game that I did witness, it was a win, and we can talk more about that. What a game that was. Yeah. I don't know, you might not want me to come to South Greene games anymore, because whenever I do come to South Greene games, there's an extra bit of excitement that goes on, and I don't know if it's just because I'm there or what, but it seems like whenever I hear people talk about other South Greene games, it's not as exciting because you had technicals on both coaching staffs. You had runs from both teams. You had to pull from behind, I think, may have been double digits.
We were.
To get that win. It went on an incredible run. It's been, like we said, 3 weeks now, so I can't remember the exact numbers, but down double digits in the third, have to come back and go on an incredible double-digit run to get that lead in the fourth, and they even got back close. As you see, it was a 4-point game at the end. So, thrilling game overall. Take me through that whole entire second half and how you kind of had to adjust to everything going on.
Well, we had a layup that got blocked clearly after the ball hit the backboard, and there was no goaltending call. So, of course, my assistant coach stood up and is yelling, and they popped him. So I got to sit the rest of the night because my assistant coach got me a technical foul. But Then, of course, we went on a little bit of a run at that point, and their coach got upset and got himself a technical foul, so we kind of swapped back and forth. But I think we got down 13 at one point.
13 was what I was thinking.
For a bunch of young kids that I was playing at that point to come back and get back in that game and be able to pull that thing out, it says something for them. They didn't want to quit and they didn't want to lose. So found a way to win. Union County's good. They've got some kids that can play, and they're well coached. He does a really good job with them. So that's, for years, that was one of our regional tournament games.
That's right, yeah.
And we were kind of familiar with what they do, so it helped us out a little bit in preparing. But they're not bad. They're going to be okay in their conference. So very happy to get that win, and it is fun. I'm still competitive. You get in those games and you get an opportunity. You get down 13, and I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I'm sure there were times where I was like, well, we're done. And then you get a kid go down and make a 3-point play and get a steal, and then you look up and you're not down 13 anymore. You're down 6 or 7, and you go get a rebound and come back and get a 3-point play, and now you're down 4, and you get back in those games. And to see your kids battle back and have a little bit of confidence, so it's good to get that win.
Big plays in that game that I can think of off the top of my head. You had a buzzer beater by Trey Gentry right at the end of the third quarter that cut it down to about 6. You had a big rebound at the end of the game, I think, by Will Arwood that sent him to the free throw line. I think he had actually missed 2 free throws that allowed Union to kind of creep back into it or potentially take the lead or tie. And it was big for him to get that rebound because I think he may have went to the line or may have passed it out that ended up resulting in free throws that put the game to rest. So big plays in that game, and a lot of people will overlook this later on when you maybe look back at the schedule and see a 4-point win over Union County. But other coaches, other fans might look and might not know that you were without 2 starters that game, and I think you had a little bit more foul trouble in that Union County game also. It was a great game for some of those young kids to kind of develop and learn from that game. Like you said, how a lot of those young kids, you get thrown into the fire in the Hampton game, and they have to try to play from behind in that one, don't come out with the win in that one. You see it again in Union County. I think you saw your young team learn a few things from that Hampton game that they could use in the Union County game.
And you look up, and there's been a lot of these games where I look up, and it's going to be my team for next year. So to see those guys getting in there and scrapping and trying to find a way to win and figuring it out is good. And it looks good for us for the next couple of years. So very happy for that. And it's good to know that when this season's over and you lose our 4 seniors, that the season, it's not over. We're going to have kids come back and can compete. So all the time that those kids can get right now is nothing but positive. And you never know when you're going to need those guys coming down the stretch right here. You get kids in foul trouble or somebody else gets hurt. Come tournament time, and these kids are getting time right now. That can be very valuable for them and our team come to the end.
I think it's how it was in the Hancock County game. I showed up right at the end, and I look at the court, and I'm thinking, man, that's a young team right there on the court right now. I think maybe a few of the players have been taken out because the game was a little bit out of reach, but I looked at the court, and I thought, man, that's a young team right there. A little glimpse into next year. Moving into a week now where you end the week with 2 non-conference games, and then next week starts the slate of conference games pretty much to finish out the season. I know you've got Crockett and Dobbins-Bennett and maybe 1 or 2 other non-conference games, but from here on out, it's where you'll finish with the 8 conference games. We need to get a break in first, as always, before we discuss that a little bit more, so we'll be right back to talk about that here in just a minute here on Grassroots Media.
At Corner Pond, the friendly and knowledgeable staff has the experience necessary to help you out regardless the need. Have an item of value you'd like to pawn or sell? Corner Pond can help. They pawn numerous items of value, including firearms, tools, ammunition, silver, coins, and much more. When you walk through their doors, you'll find well-stocked shelves full of electronics, gaming systems, fishing and hunting equipment, car audio and accessories. And don't forget about the room full of guitars and basses and amplifiers, or their outside lawn and garden equipment. Corner Pond is a case knife dealer and carries numerous used knives as well. Stop by and let the friendly staff at Corner Pond help you today at 432 East Bernard Avenue, Greenville, Tennessee. For more than 30 years, Tommy's Plumbing has served customers in East Tennessee with licensed and professional plumbing services. From installing your new faucet to replacing your existing piping system, our team at Tommy's Plumbing is trained to handle the job with professionalism, attention to detail, and integrity. By offering warranties on most products installed by our technicians, Tommy's Plumbing stands behind our work, ensuring that your plumbing needs are not only met, but that your problem is solved for the long term. When you need reliable and professional plumbing service, Tommy's is the only call to make. So give us a call today and let us show you the Tommy's difference.
Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Gary's Paint Body Shop Terry Hoese Show, where we cover everything on the court with the South Greene Rebels basketball team. As always, I'm joined here with head coach Terry Hoese. So, got 3 games in the next, I guess that's 6 days. You've got Granger on the road on Thursday, and then you've got 2 back-to-back here at home. Cott County on Saturday, and then West Greene on Tuesday. You got 2 non-conference this week with Granger and Cott County. Take me through both of those. I know Cott County you had played in a scrimmage earlier this year, and you just played them in the Big H Barbecue Bash. And then Granger is a team that you schedule every single year, and you've had a friendly little rivalry with the last few years. So talk to me about those 2 games and what you can expect before you go into conference games.
Honestly, at this point, I don't know what to expect. It's been
Honestly,
as long since we've
understand.
played. I just hope we can show up and can compete and be halfway decent. But it's going to be good to have 2 non-conference games in here to knock a rust off before we get into conference play. But Granger's playing much better. We beat them here earlier in the year. They went over to Union County and won Friday night. And I talked to Union County's coach, and he just told me, he said they're playing a lot better than what they were. So I'll go down there, and it's a tough place to go play. They've got a good student section, good fan base. It'll be wild down there tomorrow night, and I expect if we go down there and win, it'll be a good win for us. And then you take Cott County on Saturday. We've scrimmaged them. We beat them in the Hardy's Classic, and then they beat us in the Big H Classic. So
That's right, you did play Hardy's too.
We've technically played 3 times already and haven't gotten into the season yet. So we still have them 2 times on the schedule, home and away. So I'm still going shorthanded. Roderick Kid's not back yet, so we'll have to play really well in here Saturday night. Cott County's capable of running you out of the gym. So 2 good games for us to get going right here, to get back on track, hopefully, and whether the wins or losses, just to get back to playing right here and get back into floor shape and get ready for West Greene on Tuesday. So we need to play well these next 2 games to get ready to go.
Off the top of your head, can you remember a season where you've played or scrimmaged a team 5 times within a season?
No, I cannot. It's crazy. I want to continue to play in these tournaments, but it seems like it's
the same
kind of the way
teams.
it
Yes,
is, and you run into that. There is a chance that that's going to happen. So we are, I won't say friends. Coach Reagan and I, we don't go out to eat together or anything, but he's a good dude, and I enjoy playing him. He's competitive with his kids, and he's got a good team, and it'll be a good game to come in here and watch on Saturday night if we get to play.
And then, that's, of course, with weather permitting. We'll keep you up to date with that, of course, as South Greene will. And then hopefully things are cleared up by Tuesday, because you've got a big conference game coming up. You've got the West Greene Buffaloes here at home on Tuesday. You've got them here at home on your home court. It's a game that I think a lot of people will have a lot of eyes on, because I think most people will look at U2 and then Hampton as probably the top 3 teams that are going to eye for that regular season and tournament championship this year. So I know you're, of course, focused on Granger and Cott County first, but when you play West Greene next week to open up January's conference play, what can you expect?
They're good. I've watched them several times already this season, and they've got good shooters, they've got good ball handlers, and they've got a big guy that can play. So they've kind of got the complete package. And he has kids that come off the bench that give him a lot of stuff. So we'll have to play super good in here on Tuesday to have a chance to beat them. I do think it's wide open. I think us, Hampton or West Greene, any of the three of us could win this conference. So Tuesday night will be big for both teams.
And it's not to discredit any of the other teams also within the conference. And, of course, I think later on in the week you have Happy Valley.
Yep.
And then it's a big conference week because you've got West Greene, Happy Valley. West Greene's got South Greene, Chucky Doak. Chucky Doak's got Johnson County and West Greene. It's a big week throughout, and I assume that Johnson County, Happy Valley, and Hampton, of course, will play each other in that mixture also. And this is the exciting part of the season. Of course, this is the fourth year we've done these interviews now. Before the district tournament, I always say it's the most exciting part of the season, the postseason. This may be the second most exciting part of the season when you get into those big conference games in January and February. But, of course, going through Granger and Cott County first, the next time we sit down, you'll have one of those conference games under your belt and have 3 total before we talk about the rest of them. But that's all I've got this week. We'll see you at Granger tomorrow night.
All right, I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you
Thanks,
once
Tyler.
again. We got to talk about the college football playoff real quick. We were totally wrong about everything.
Yeah,
we were totally
I think
wrong about
everybody
everything.
was.
Yes. I look back, I can go back and watch the interviews. I asked every coach their predictions. I think some people have their national champions still alive. But outside of that, there's a lot of red X's on their brackets, including my own. I cannot say anything about anybody's brackets because everybody's got blown up.
Did I pick Texas? Tell me I got one right. Okay,
you did pick Texas.
I've gotten one right.
You did pick Texas. I think you might have picked Penn State to go to the semifinals also.
No.
I think almost everybody got Georgia and Oregon wrong.
Yep.
I think almost everybody did. There was one person I know off the top of my head that did pick Notre Dame, but it's been crazy so far. Wouldn't expect anything less coming up this Thursday and Friday in the playoffs, but it's all we've got this week. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
Thank you all once again for watching this week's edition of the Gary's Paint Body Shop Terry Hoese Show. Look forward to seeing y'all next time here on Grassroots Media.